G'day guys, this is Ezra and his family, his wife Christine behind him, and his daughter over there too. That's Johanna. And I've known Ezra for quite a long time. He used to have a YouTube channel called Ezra's Self-Reliance, was that it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and he had a real interest in knives, and he was also one of my patrons and a supporter. And he named his daughter partly from my daughter's name Hannah, because she's Johanna, and where's the other half of the name come from?
I don't know. I just I just kind of liked Johanna. It just sort of came to me really.
But what is the yo part? Is that someone else?
Yeah. Well, my great grandmother on my dad's side, she was Johanna. But I like the pronunciation of Hannah.
So where did the yo come from? Did you just put that in there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay, so a little bit about Ezra. Ezra's got a condition, and when I first met him, he couldn't speak at all, hardly. It was like really difficult. And it's kind of very brave of him, because he had a YouTube channel, and you were talking on it, and struggling, but still doing it.
Yeah.
And I was taken by the fact that he went, I've got this condition, but it's not going to stop me, and he made a YouTube channel. And it was a good channel too, and one of his videos nearly got 1 million views, although that was because animal rights people jumped on it. And
yeah.
It was a rabbit killing video.
Yeah.
But I still think it was a good video.
Yeah.
What's the name of the condition you got, mate?
Fibromuscular dysplasia.
Right.
So yeah, essentially what that means is my arteries and my soft tissues throughout my body think that they're my muscles, so they're able to contract.
So arteries do contract, but if your arteries actually think they're muscles, so they actually contract, which is not a good thing, because you're going to have
down.
So that would cause occlusion of your blood vessels, and that's really bad.
I've had a lot of occlusions.
Right.
And that's why I've had to have all of the surgeries that I've had.
Yeah. And you've had a lot of pain, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
pain.
Tell us at the very beginning, your first experience with your first doctor, about that.
Well, I don't really remember the first time I was with the doctors, because I essentially right from the time that I was born, I was in the care of the doctors.
Yeah.
But I've had a lot of experience with doctors. Are you talking about
I'm talking about the butterfly incident.
Yeah, I thought you would be.
Because that's something. It's kind of like, it's one of those stories that it's left sort of in my mind an idea about how we adults try to downplay things with children, but how that can backfire, which would certainly backfire with you if you want to share that story.
Yeah. So I was about 3. My mum said that I was like just at the stage where I was talking a lot, and I had a doctor that he needed to do a femoral stab, which is when you put a huge needle all the way through and it goes between the joint and your wrist.
Oh.
And it gets the femoral artery in there, and it.
Ouch.
He said it wasn't gonna hurt, and he said it was gonna hurt like a butterfly bite.
A butterfly bite. Has anybody been bitten by a butterfly? Okay, a butterfly bite. Okay.
And he screwed it up, and it ended up being extremely painful, and there was the blood shooting out, and Mum said that I got it on my face, and I was horrifically terrified.
Traumatised.
Yeah.
Traumatised.
And she said I didn't say another word for about a month or 2 months after that.
So this affected your speech from trauma?
And then after that I spoke with this
problem. So that speech impediment has been ever since that trauma.
Yep.
And also for your life for a long time after that you were fearful of butterflies.
Yeah, I was. Right up to, I knew there wasn't a reason that I should be up to, like when I was about 8 or 9, I realised I didn't have to be afraid of them anymore, but I kind of flinched almost every time I saw a butterfly till I was about 15.
Yeah, and that it
And
makes...
sometimes if they catch me off guard now, I still
I can
actually
believe
flinch.
that. I totally get that, because everything that we start off in life is that first 7 years is critical, and it goes into the subconscious of the mind.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty hard out story, and as you can see, all these years later, Ezra is 30.
Yep.
And something that happened 27 years ago and still his speech today, although your speech is way better than it used to be.
Yeah.
Like, way better. And today's actually quite bad compared to what it was yesterday. We
Yeah.
had the same conversation on the beach.
Yeah.
And you didn't hardly at all. So it fluctuates, obviously.
Yeah, it does a wee bit. I think some of it has to do with...
anxiety?
Well, a little bit of anxiety, but also just my energy levels and stuff. Just because there's so much to control.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
If I'm getting a wee bit tired, I just...
Yeah. So, I was talking to Ezra today about having a supportive partner when you're sick, and obviously he's got a really supportive partner, because you just cannot go through something which is debilitating. This. You've been in a wheelchair for some time.
Yeah. There's been 3 separate times that I've been in a wheelchair for a range from about 3 months to 18 months.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot, and through the last 2 years I've had my own health battles, and we've also connected up and talked about that, and I've had you at your real lowest. Talked to you sometimes, you've been really struggling, but he's got up and fought the good battle. And I think the things for Ezra, and I'm only putting this out there and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the main things has been his faith with God, and I think the other thing has also been his wife's support.
Yeah.
He's had massive support from Christine, and those things combined have what got him through. And the thing, not everybody is so lucky to have a wife that's that supportive.
No.
A lot of women bail on their men when they get sick. A lot of women, when the chips are down, they go, this guy ain't going to better provide for me, this guy ain't going to better protect me, I'm out of here. And it happens, believe me. And so you've got someone who's kept your family together, and they've been staying with me for a few days. And it's been really great to see as a family, really tight-knit family, that's clearly mum is doing a lot with the family, but also dad is too, with this condition. And it's something which is really, really, if you have a health problem, I'll paint it like this for you guys that are listening to me. Human beings really are greedy creatures on the whole. Most people that I know, including myself, most of us, we want lots of things. Want to get the car, want to have the new house, or want to have the money in the bank, or want to have this food, or want to have that clothes. But I can tell you, and you'll agree with this 100%, if you're a sick person that's terminal, as Ezra is, there's only one thing you want. You want just for one thing, and that's to be well. And you just want to be well. That's all you want. You don't care about the other things. If you've got family, you want them to be well too, but you want to be well, so because all you want to be is be a father, and so you've actually got yourself really well, and now you're working again, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you're productive now.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. Tell us about what you do.
So I train horses, quite small scale at the moment, but I like working with troubled horses.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Troubled anything.
Yeah.
I've worked with troubled young men. I can tell you, it's an old saying, there's no good deed that goes unpunished that comes back on you a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
But,
you're living on a farm?
Yep. Yeah, we're living on a farm, central Southland.
Oh, yep.
And we help out a lot there with the pest control and
cool.
that side of things.
Your wife also helps out with the pest control?
Yep.
Can I ask you what your role is in pest control there, Christine?
I shoot the deer.
She shoots the deer.
Sometimes the rabbits.
Okay.
Sometimes the geese.
So what firearm do you use on the deer?
308
Okay.
with a thermal scope.
Thermal scope. So are we talking search and recovery meat, or just culling?
As often as I can, I bring the meat back.
Yep.
Sometimes they go down somewhere you can't get them.
Yeah.
But when I can, I bring the meat back, and that goes either to our freezer or friends' freezers. Or
Right. How much destruction do you think deer do to your crop, and what it costs you as running a farm? You've got a couple of
Ezra's
thousand.
way better with the numbers than me.
So what would it be, Ezra?
So I estimate so we've got fallow deer,
Fallow deer.
and I estimate they cost us about $400 a year, as far as like feed.
Per deer, you mean?
Yep.
Just
per
each deer or
Yep.
the whole per
Yep.
deer.
I
Okay.
think so.
We lost a whole paddock of crop.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know numbers, but it's not cheap to put in a whole paddock of crop. And
Yeah,
the deer,
oh,
they come in and eat it
Yeah.
before it's even grown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got to not only replace, or not only have you lost the crop, but then you've got to feed the stock something else.
Yeah. Well, you say you don't know numbers, but you know how many numbers you shot last year. How many is
Oh
that?
yeah, 65 deer last year.
She knocked over 65 deer last year.
Yeah.
I got mates that have been hunting their whole life that have never shot 65 deer in total. So that's really cool. Okay, well, so you've been through some really what's the hardest time you've been through? That would be really the most challenging that you didn't think you were going to get through.
There's been actually a lot of those.
A lot of there has yeah. I remember you telling me I'm terminal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely been a couple of times where I was pretty certain that I was going to die.
Yep.
The one, like, my parents, when I must have been 17 or maybe 18, I was in Auckland Hospital. I hadn't eaten, my esophagus had closed up and my gut had shut down. I hadn't been able to eat for about 18 months. I was down from, I started at 110 kilos and I got down to 52 kilos.
Wow.
And
wow, that's even skinnier than I was when I had cancer. I got down to 56. That's really skinny.
Yeah. And they had a surgery that they basically said that you're either gonna, this surgery's either gonna work or you're gonna die.
Okay.
And you might die in the surgery.
Right.
There's about 30% chance that I wouldn't make it out.
Okay, and you have to sign a paper when you get surgery too, don't you? Because I had that when I had 2 tumours removed. Yeah. I remember them saying the same thing to me, the things that could go wrong. One of those things did go wrong, but I remember thinking, well, I've already made peace with dying myself. Did you have a time that you got to where you made peace with death, that it would come? Have you ever been in that place where you've been at peace about that?
Yeah, I have, but I've gone in and out of that peace. Like when I was younger, then like my faith in God was like relatively strong.
Yep.
And so, I knew there was something on the other side waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And also I think, I don't know whether it's making a peace with it, but I was just about wanting.
Yeah, out.
I was so sick of fighting.
Yeah. That's
like you fight for 2 years on just about your deathbed for most of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, you got to keep fighting a good battle if you want to be there. I've never given up, but I've come close, mate. Yeah. I've been really close. But you've had it really bad, and you've fought the good battle. Yeah. You're still here, but now you've actually got something a lot more to fight for. You don't have just yourself, and this is why I think for when you have a family, it changes things.
Absolutely.
What I've learnt is that people that generally survive anything are those that take responsibility for it themselves, rather than put it in the hands of the medical care, because medical care can do so much, but we can do a lot ourselves with our lifestyle, our diet, our sleep management, our stress management, our relationship management, and in the case of your faith. Faith is a very strong thing. I think faith can actually can pull people through the most hideous things if you've got faith, whether it's in God or something. I just have to shut my dogs up. They're going to keep on barking. Just pause it. They've stopped. Oh, let's start again. We'll pause and come back. Right, I've quietened those guys down. They'll probably start up again. We've just, while we're off camera, we're just talking about hope. And I have lost a lot of friends through different things over the years. I lost my very first girlfriend through suicide. I believe she lost all hope. She hung herself. And just a couple of years ago, I lost one of the young fellows I was looking after through suicide, and I believe he lost all hope. And so hope, you can lose hope and be physically well as well, like completely physical, but still lose it. And one negative thought can kill somebody. It can be that one negative thought can cause someone to give up hope or to pull the trigger or jump off that bridge. Just one thought. So being proactive with your thoughts and making sure you're watching them all the time, whether you're terminally ill or whether you've got something that's inside is hurting you, it's really important if you're getting to that point that you actually get that professional help you need. Now, it's not always there, is it?
No.
Because you've been down that road, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what was the final thing that gave you hope? Was it faith with God, or was it having a family, or was it just your sheer determination to stay in this world? What was it that kept you going?
Yeah, I think, of the more like the recent years, it's definitely been the family. Like definitely Johanna.
Yeah.
Once Johanna came along, there was a lot to fight for there. You know.
You've got better a lot since then, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you have. Oh, you have.
Because I got a wee bit better for a while, but I sort of let it. I was sort of happy to just be that little bit better, but then when Johanna came along, I started to really fight because I had a dip after she was born.
Well, the whole family went for a walk yesterday. It was 9 kilometres on my phone, and it was a big walk up a hill, and you couldn't have done that.
No.
No way in hell. So he's a fit man now, and you'll be getting fitter. Yeah. So, what would you say to somebody who's at the other end of the spectrum where you've been? Someone who's, and how would you, what words would you give them to help them in a situation where they really are, in a situation where there's no hope and there's one out of this life? What would you say to them?
Honestly, just there is always hope. Like there's always like something over the horizon. You know, I've been like right at that point in hospital where the doctors are saying, you know, right to my face, you know, you probably won't make the day.
Have you heard that been said to you?
Yeah.
That's not very helpful, is it?
It's not particularly.
No.
And
like they're telling you to prepare for death?
Yeah, basically. And it's, you know, like I've even been in the position of like that surgery I was talking about before. I convinced my mum, she didn't take a lot of convincing actually, but I got her to sign that I didn't want a resus. Like
a resuscitation,
yeah.
And she signed that?
She did. Because actually mum and dad were both really firm on that like, if it wasn't God's will for me to be alive and be happy, then it was actually a lot better for me to not have to fight anymore.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Right? I'll tell you personally, I'm really, really happy that you're still here, man. I really am. When I watched your videos when you were making them back in the day when you were really sick, I just was full of admiration because I've had my own battles with health. And I'm a fighter. I mean, I fight tooth and nail. I love life and I love the people around me, and I'm not ready to give up. I have been at a point of pain where if I'd had my gun with me, I wouldn't be sitting talking to you. I've been in that physical pain where it was so bad. I hate to say that, but where I would have pulled the trigger, where it was that excruciating where I just couldn't. It was like I'd pass out and then wake to this horrendous pain, and then I'd go unconscious again. I'd come back to, and I'd be in this agony, which just all I wanted to do was just make the pain stop. And I don't think anybody that ever took their life, it's not that they didn't want to live. I think they just wanted to stop the pain. It's not that no one wants to it's just there's a pain, there's an underlying pain, and it is not the way out. And I'll tell you why it's not the way out. I read an article about the Golden Gate Bridge, about all the suicides. There's been over 2,000, and 11 people that have jumped off that bridge have survived out of the 2,000 that have done it. 11. Some of them are quadriplegics, some are paraplegics, some are tetraplegics, but they're all alive, and they all say the same thing. From the moment that they left that bridge, the moment they started to jump, they were full of deep regret. From that very moment, they all said the same thing. So that meant, if those 11 could report that back, if every single one said that, that meant that the other 2,000 did the same thing. Because it's not natural.
No.
It's not natural. There are some people also that I have worked with over the years that are threatening suicide a lot because they don't want to take responsibility for their pain, and they're threatening it to their loved ones and the people they're trying to help. I'm going to kill myself, I'm going to shoot myself, I'm going to hang myself, and hear it. And to those people there, I would say to them, you need to start to take responsibility for your pain. Your pain was very difficult to take responsibility for. But the psychological pain that a lot of people have, and they say to their partner, I'm going to kill myself, and this is just a blackmail to, you help me because I don't want to help myself anymore. And it's actually very, very unhealthy, not only to the person that's doing it, but also to the person that's receiving it. And it puts a huge pressure on people. And I know a story of a husband and wife, what happened, friends of mine, and eventually the wife shook her head and she said, go and kill yourself, do it. And guess what? He's still around to this day.
Yeah.
So I don't advocate saying that, but that's a lot of people do. But in your case, in the case you're talking about, you genuinely were okay to have the pain stop, eh?
Yeah, I remember saying, like, on the day of that surgery when I went on with Mum, like, you know, as we were saying goodbye, like, she was pretty concerned.
It's your mum, bro.
You know,
it's your mum, you know.
I was, 17.
Yeah.
And, but I said, hey, look, I'm either going to come out of the surgery better or the fighting's going to be over.
How much better did you come out of the surgery?
Well, I could eat.
Right.
I could eat when I came out. And it was the start of a very long recovery. But yeah, it did. It improved a lot. Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, I'm pleased you did. I know myself that you're going to get a lot better more still. Yeah. I know that we're going to have this conversation in a year or two. Your speech is going to be a lot better. I know physically you're going to be a lot better. Your energy is going to be a lot better. Even though you have this, and it is terminal, I think that with the right lifestyle, the right love, and your faith is a big thing. Yeah. And faith is a big thing, and I think with the love of your family, and you've got strong love, I can see that you are going in the right direction against all odds, against what doctors have told you. I believe in miracles, and I think you're going in, I can see you going in the right direction. Yeah. And I can share similar stories of lots of people that are so-called terminal and supposed to die and turn it around. I've got a friend, Colin, who's had cancer. He's in his 70s now. He's had cancer 3 times, stage 4 for a long time, and terminal supposedly. Yeah. Colin now, I wouldn't be able to keep up with him going up a hill. He's a machine and he's got virtually no cancer at all. He's in remission. So I think with illness, what happens is it goes into remission when we give it a chance with surgery and with lifestyle, with all the things combined. But ultimately, it's us that have to take control, whether that means getting the right help or being proactive at doing the right things in your life. So I genuinely believe you're going to be okay. And the other thing too, which you probably do regularly, is practice gratitude. Yeah. Because that's what I do. Yeah. Grateful for those that are around, because things can always go pear-shaped again. So one thing is sure, Hey,
the thing about the gratitude, like, that was definitely something I had to work on. Like, when I was younger, or even up to 4 or 5 years ago, I found it really hard to see the good things in my life. I found it really hard to see past the pain and that, and I think I took advantage of, or I took for granted the people around me, and that they were helping. I sort of didn't see what that did. like 4 people.
Yeah.
That
That's-
they'd put that effort in.
It's good that you acknowledge that because
Yeah.
it's easy to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to teach your daughter how to make a flax mat
Yep.
because she doesn't know how to do that. And thank you very much for sharing with the bros.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been great
It's
having
great.
you. Really appreciate the story. Check on a brother if you know someone that's struggling. And thanks for joining us at the Bro Check Club. And we'll see you next video. Right, we're going to go cut some flax and make a mat. Yep. You still keen to do it? Okay, let's do that. See you guys.